This is what we're here to repair. No matter what we do, we have a dripping. A very significant one. Even up here. Showers have these little directional arrows, little caps over. They get pretty nasty. We'll pry those off. And before we put this back, clean it up. Because whoever cleans the bathroom, you can clean the surface, but underneath, you can't clean. And before you put any of this stuff back, clean that up. Inside is a screw that holds that handle on. Now this is going to vary by design. These designs are crazy in how they vary. Even the same company will have different designs of how they do it. This is obviously a Phillips head. So we'll go ahead and get this loose. Really simple. Oh, one tip. Before you get things too loose, cover that up. Last thing you want is for your screws and stuff to go down the drain. If you're doing this at someone else's house other than your own, make sure you do not use the nice towels or whatever. Use something that people aren't going to mind getting dirty. There we go. Now this one, actually a two-part. You have this little metal thing. It's kind of wedged in there pretty good. But that actually will come off, so be careful. That connects to the end of the stem. That's the stem right there. This little gizmo. To get to it, you gotta take off this pretty cover. You'll want to clean this too before you put it back. Clean that handle before you put it back because the back of it's hollow. There's no way to clean it unless you take it apart. So we're going to take this off. Sometimes these get pretty stuck on there, and sometimes you have to get a screwdriver and gently pry it loose around the back. Just like that. Be very, very gentle. If it's a porcelain shower or a fiberglass one like this, it's going to break really easily. There we go, got it. You know how nasty that is? We're going to clean that up before we put it back in there. So we put caulk on it. It's completely unnecessary. Now at the base of the stem that you can't really see, there is something similar to a nut or a socket that can be grasped by a tool like this. You can buy these at hardware stores or plumbing stores. Sometimes Home Depot and Lowe's won't carry them. I prefer to go to Ace or Tru-Value. But on the case of these bizarre things, I couldn't even find one that fit unless I went to a specialty store. In this case, it was Handy Ace Hardware in Tucker, Georgia. But this is specific size just for this one. You're going to have to do a lot of trial and error. But you'll notice one problem. That fiberglass tub is in the way. Because when they install these, they install them just big enough to get this hole through, this stem through. Never would they have thought of ever needing to repair it. So along with your, something called these faucet wrenches or faucet sockets, I have a Dremel tool, a little rotary tool with a little tiny grinding bit at the end. And I just got it grinding. So let me set up the camera and y'all can watch me grind away. Okay, I'm going to start by just poking some holes around the perimeter. I don't want to go outside this grime line, if you want to call it that. Don't want to be out here. I want to make sure I'm well within that. But I want to make sure I leave enough room for the tool to get through. So, away we go. Okay, once I've got my holes, now I'm going to use the bit a little differently. Try and drag it around to connect all those holes together. Make one gigantic hole. Well, as soon as you poke through, you're going to feel the depth of the fiberglass. There are going to be places where it's going to feel like the bit won't go through. It's hitting something else. There's more resistance back there than just the fiberglass. That's because behind this is of course the framing to your wall, and sometimes framing supporting the plumbing. So if you just pull this out, there's the outer layer of the fiberglass, pretty part we all get to see. There's this stuff that looks like cardboard back here. We'll pull that out too. Just really, there we go. Now you can see a bit better what's in there. And now you, I don't know how well you can see that. I'll take a picture of it. But there's the, there's where our wrench is going to grab onto back in there. These are actually designed to fit more than one size. I believe this is the size that goes in, and I believe wrong. Now, you have to make sure you have the right size, because it's about a $300 mistake if you strip that out in there. So if you get one that's close and wiggles too much, like this one, this is a cheaper one like you can get at Home Depot or Lowe's, these strip things out, these bend. These are not very good. You can actually see a little scrape there where it started to strip somewhere. Previous application. So we want to make sure we have a good firm fitting one. Nice big adjustable wrench. And this is going to take your big boy drawers. These are usually very hard to get off. Sometimes to the point of you could actually bend the plumbing underneath. And you don't want this to come off at all. You want it nice and snug in there. You don't want to pull away from the shower. I'm actually standing in the shower to get some good traction here. There she goes. It jolted enough to pull the camera loose, but she's out of there. She's loose. Now I'm going to go by hand. Now you can see what the problem is when we get in here. That's the bottom of the stem. Right here. And you see that flathead screwdriver is holding in a tiny little washer. It's a rubber washer. And that's what's messed up. That is worn out. We're going to replace it with a new one. Stem here, the business end of the stem. A real simple flathead there. Get that out. Sometimes these are kind of hard to get loose too. In this case, it's not. Now you can buy these washers, specific size, at a hardware store for pretty cheap. I usually will get an assortment pack, because you don't want to have to stop and drive to the hardware store and hope and go find washers in the middle of your repair. And there's a huge, crazy variety of what kind of washers you can get. This is a flat washer. This is slightly bigger. That's the wrong size. Here's one that's slightly bigger and it's kind of dome shaped. That's the wrong thing. There's an enormous one. That's the wrong thing. So you can buy the wrong thing pretty easily. Here's the right one. Simple flat washer, exact same size. It should fit easily in here. There she goes. Just like that. You take the screw, slide it back in there. Now, here's one way you can really mess up this repair pretty easily. You can see how much fatter this new one was versus the old one. These new ones are a little thicker. This one's just so worn out. And it has this groove in it where it's seated. See that groove pretty easily? That's why we have a leak. It's a slow leak. Just drip, drip, drip. And get that in there as much as we can with our finger. Now, here's where you can make the mistake. Don't make this too tight. It's real easy to tighten this to the point that you deform that washer. All that screw needs to do is hold that washer in place. That's it. Get that back on there. Now, we're ready to go back in the hole. And halfway do this by feel. I'm going to do it real gentle because the last thing I'm going to do is cross thread that booger in there. Because that piece That manifold is what it's called that connects all these. They start at around $100. So I got her finger tight. Now it's just reverse of before. Get my wrench on that booger. Once again, you do not want this to be pulled off. You want it snug in there so you don't strip anything. You don't have to get it too tight. It feels harder pulling it off because it's stuck. It's been there. This has been here for 30 years. So you don't need to get it too terribly tight. And if it's leaking, you will know quite quickly. And you'll be able to retighten it or whatever you need to do. Now, gotta go clean these nasty pieces before we put them back on. Make them look nice. Okay, and then we'll ready to roll. Got it cleaned up. It's not perfect. Looks a lot better than it did. Chrome's got a little tarnishing on it. Can't get rid of that, but looks a lot better. And once again, put the pretty shiny part back on. Flange. We didn't see this apart before. This was lodged down in there. I couldn't get it loose. And this goes on the end of our stem. You remember that was like a star bit. Slides on there. That square piece fits on there. There we go. Now the screw slides back in there. Sit. Putting that back down. Oops. Do not use power tools. Good way to ruin a $150, $300 part. $100 for a cheap one. It's good. Then our little cap. Cleaned it up the best I could. Snaps back on. You want to get the arrow in the direction they want it in, that makes sense. And you're good to go. Drips. No drips. No drips. That one just hanging there. Waiting to prove me wrong. There's no water coming out, so it's just gonna hang there. Okay, I hope that helped you out. Hope you found that useful, and hope it helps you repair your own leaky showers. And if you would, do me a favor, like the video, subscribe, and check out my other videos, and you know, click a link or two while you're at it. Thanks.